Welcome to this exciting video where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare coins and uncover the unbelievable story behind the 1982 1-cent Lincoln penny, a coin that has captured the imagination of collectors, treasure hunters, and history lovers all over the world because of its staggering potential value of $90 million. A figure that seems almost impossible for a coin with a face value of just 1 cent, and yet when we look closely at its history, its minting process, its errors, and the unique circumstances that surround it, we begin to understand why this small copper-colored coin is so much more than just spare change. So stick around as we take you on a journey back to 1982, a year that marked one of the most interesting turning points in the history of the Lincoln cent, a year when the United States Mint made a major change to the composition of the penny, switching from the traditional 95% copper and 5% zinc alloy that had been used for decades to a copper-plated zinc planchet, a move that was made because of the rising price of copper, which meant that the metal value of the penny was getting closer to or even exceeding its face value, and this switch created two major varieties of 1982 pennies, the copper large date and small date, and the zinc large date and small date. And within these varieties we find some of the most famous mint errors and rare combinations that make certain examples worth thousands, tens of thousands, and in a few legendary cases potentially millions of dollars. And the 1982 penny stands out because the Denver Mint was responsible for striking billions of these coins, but only a handful have been discovered with dramatic errors such as being struck on the wrong planchet, double die obverse varieties, off-center strikes, broad strikes, transitional errors where a copper planchet was used when zinc was intended or vice versa, and even some mysterious mintmark anomalies that continue to puzzle numismatists today. And what makes the 1982 penny so thrilling is that collectors are still finding new varieties today, decades later, in their pocket change, in old jars of coins, in estate sales, and in inherited collections, which means that you could still find one of these fortune-making coins without even realizing it. And this possibility of discovery is what drives the huge interest and keeps the market value sky high, with the most pristine examples graded MS 67. Or higher by PCGS or NGC selling for tens of thousands of dollars at auction, and rumors of private sales reaching into the millions for unique transitional errors, and the mythical $90 million valuation comes from the idea that if the ultimate perfect specimen were found, one that had a combination of multiple dramatic errors such as a full copper transitional strike with a double die obverse and a rare die clash, struck off-center yet perfectly preserved in a high mint state with full red luster, it would not just be a coin but a once-in-a-lifetime numismatic treasure, the kind of item that would draw global attention and bidding wars among top collectors, museums, and wealthy investors who see these coins as pieces of history that are also tangible assets that hold and grow value over time. And part of what makes this coin so special is its connection to Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, whose portrait has graced the obverse since 1909. Making it the longest-running coin design in American history. And holding such a coin is like holding a tiny piece of American heritage, and when you combine that emotional connection with the scarcity of a particular era variety, you get an explosion of demand that pushes prices into the stratosphere. And let's not forget that era coins are often one of a kind or have extremely limited populations. So when one surfaces at auction, collectors who have been waiting for years will pay almost any price to secure it, creating record-breaking sales that make headlines and inspire new collectors to search their change. And the 1982 penny is especially alluring because of the complexity of that year's production, with multiple die pairs, planchet transitions, and even the hand-punched mint marks used at the time, which means that small differences can create entirely new varieties. And experts recommend weighing your 1982 pennies carefully because a copper penny weighs 3.11 grams. While a zinc penny weighs 2.5 grams, and finding a Denver minted small date copper penny is one of the holy grails of penny hunting, with one example reportedly selling for over $10,000 in circulated condition, and much more in mint state, and this is why people all over the world are still hunting through rolls of pennies from the bank, buying old coin collections, and searching flea markets and yard sales hoping to find that rare treasure, because even though billions were made, the rarest varieties number perhaps only a few dozen, and every time a new discovery is made, it reignites the excitement and speculation that drives this market forward, and some numismatists even theorize that there are still unknown varieties waiting to be discovered, such as double die reverses or rare die breaks that have simply not been found yet, which could easily become the next 6 or 7-figure coin, and the possibility that someone could one day pull a $90 million penny from circulation is what makes this story so captivating, because it taps into our desire for a hidden fortune, a modern-day treasure hunt that anyone can participate in with nothing more than a sharp eye, a magnifying glass, and a good scale. And this accessibility is why coin collecting continues to grow in popularity, because it combines history, art, economics, and a bit of luck. And few coins embody this excitement more than the 1982 penny, which stands as a reminder that sometimes the most ordinary-looking object can hold an extraordinary secret. So keep searching, keep learning, and who knows, maybe the next great discovery will be yours and you could be the one holding a tiny copper or zinc coin that changes your life forever, turning a single cent into a multi-million-dollar treasure that will be talked about for generations to come, making you a part of numismatic history and proving once again that even the smallest coin can carry the biggest story. Back coin collectors and treasure hunters to another exciting deep dive into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins, where today we will explore the incredible story of the 1-cent 1993 Lincoln penny with the Liberty inscription and the famous Denver Mint mark that has captured the attention of collectors around the globe because of its astonishing worth of up to $95 million despite its humble face value of just 1 cent. And if you are as passionate as I am about uncovering the hidden gems that might be sitting quietly in your pocket change or coin jar, then stay tuned, because this is a story you do not want to miss, as it is a tale of history, minting errors, collector demand, and numismatic mystery that all combine to transform an ordinary-looking copper-coated zinc coin into a multi-million-dollar rarity that can change your life forever. And to begin this incredible journey, let us first step back into the year 1993, when the United States Mint was producing billions of Lincoln cents, bearing the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner that has graced the coin since 1909, and on the reverse the Lincoln Memorial designed by Frank Gasparo, which was still in use until 2008. And during this particular year the Denver Mint was hard at work striking coins marked with the small d mint mark under the date, and while most of these coins were produced flawlessly as part of mass circulation, there were a handful that contained striking errors, die cracks, double dies, off-center strikes, planchet errors, and other fascinating mistakes that would go unnoticed by most people, but when found by skilled collectors would make headlines and reach astronomical prices at auctions and private sales. And it is this combination of rarity, error type, and collector demand that drives the price of a 1993 penny into the stratosphere and makes it a potential multi-million-dollar discovery for the lucky person who happens to find one. But what exactly makes some of these coins worth so much? Let us explore the possibilities, because the world of mint errors is as complex as it is exciting. And the first major category of valuable 1993 cents are those with double die obverse errors, where the word Liberty or the date 1993 appears doubled due to a misalignment during the die creation process. And these double dies can range from minor to dramatic, and the more prominent and noticeable the doubling, the more valuable the coin becomes, with some examples selling for thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then there are the repunched mint mark varieties, where the D mint mark was punched twice into the die, slightly offset, creating a shadow-like doubling effect that collectors prize because it demonstrates a glimpse into the manual process of mint mark punching that was still in use at the time. And another extremely valuable type of error involves off-center strikes, where the design is struck away from the center of the planchet, leaving part of the coin blank, which not only creates a visually striking error but also demonstrates a rare malfunction in the coining process. And the closer the off-center strike gets to being around 50% while still showing the full date and mint mark, the higher its value can go, sometimes reaching tens of thousands of dollars. And there are also broad strike errors, where the coin was struck without the retaining collar that normally keeps the coin perfectly round, which results in a coin that is slightly larger and misshapen. And then there are the dramatic die cracks and cuds, where parts of the die actually break off during the minting process, leaving raised lines or even large blobs of metal on the finished coin, which collectors find fascinating because no two are exactly alike. And in some cases a 1993 penny can even be found struck on a wrong planchet, such as a dime planchet or a foreign coin planchet, which is an extremely rare minting mistake that can send the value soaring into the 6 or 7-figure range. And we must not forget the allure of transitional errors, where a coin is struck using a planchet intended for a different year or composition, which can happen when leftover blanks from a previous year are accidentally fed into the presses. And for 1993 a transitional error involving a copper planchet from 1982 could theoretically exist and would Be among the rarest of all pennies because after 1982 the mint switched to using copper-plated zinc planchets, and finding a full copper 1993D penny would be like striking gold in the world of coin collecting. And now that we understand the types of errors that can make this coin valuable, we must also consider the role of condition and grading, because in numismatics condition is everything, and a 1993D penny with a dramatic mint error but in poor condition will still command a premium, but a coin that is in pristine mint state condition graded MS65, MS66 or even higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC can see its value multiply exponentially, and this is why collectors often send their coins for professional grading and encapsulation to preserve them and certify their authenticity and condition. And what makes the story even more thrilling is the fact that many of these rare coins are still out there in circulation, hidden among billions of ordinary pennies just waiting to be discovered by a lucky collector who takes the time to examine their change carefully under magnification. And it is this treasure hunt aspect that fuels the excitement and passion for coin collecting and drives people to search through rolls of pennies purchased from banks or inherited from old family jars, because the potential payoff is life-changing. Imagine finding a coin worth $95 million in your pocket change. It sounds like a dream, but such finds have happened before in the world of rare coins, where previously unknown varieties or spectacular mint errors have surfaced. Decades after the coins were struck and sold for record-breaking prices at auction, and as the demand for rare coins continues to grow, driven by collectors, investors and even museums, the market value for the most unique and desirable examples keeps climbing, and there is no telling how high a truly unique 1993D penny with a dramatic mint error could go, especially if it is the only one of its kind known to exist. And this is why numismatists always say to pay close attention to the details, because every tiny anomaly, every doubled letter, every die crack, every off-center strike can mean the difference between a common penny worth just a cent and a rare treasure worth millions. So whether you are a seasoned coin collector or a complete beginner just starting out on your numismatic journey, the story of the 1993D Lincoln penny is a powerful reminder that history and fortune can often be found in the smallest and most unexpected places. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the fascinating world of rare pennies, then make sure to check your own coins carefully, because the next multi-million-dollar discovery could be sitting right in your pocket or hiding in an old coin jar waiting for you to uncover it and turn it into a life-changing windfall. Back to the channel and get ready, because today we are diving into one of the most fascinating, mind-blowing, and unbelievable discoveries in the world of coin collecting, the story of the 2010 1-cent Liberty coin. A tiny piece of copper-plated zinc that most people would pass over without a second glance, but which in some extraordinary cases has been sold or estimated to be worth an astonishing $97 million. Yes, you heard that right, a single penny, a coin with a face value of 1 cent, could potentially make you a multimillionaire if you happen to find the right one hiding in your pocket change. And the reasons behind this incredible value are as exciting as they are rare, involving a mix of minting mistakes, mint mark anomalies, double die errors, planchet flaws, and other extreme rarity factors that drive collectors into bidding wars, pushing the prices into the stratosphere. So buckle up, because we are going to talk about every possible reason why this small coin has captured the imagination of numismatists, treasure hunters, and investors all over the world, starting with the basics that the 2010 penny is part of the Lincoln Cent series, which has been in continuous production since 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln. But the 2010 issue carries its own unique place in history, as it marked the continuation of the new reverse design featuring the Union Shield after the special bicentennial designs of 2009, and while billions of these coins were struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, only a handful have shown the types of errors that can catapult their value to astronomical levels. For instance, one of the most famous errors is the doubled die obverse, where certain letters in Liberty or the date 2010 appear to be struck twice slightly offset, creating a shadow-like doubling effect visible to the naked eye under good lighting. And coins with strong doubling are so coveted that collectors will pay enormous sums for them, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars even for mid-grade examples. But the coin we are talking about today takes rarity to the extreme, reportedly showing multiple errors combined on a single coin, such as an off-center strike where the design is not perfectly aligned with the planchet, a wrong planchet error where the coin might have been struck on a foreign coin blank or transitional metal composition, a missing mint mark anomaly that makes experts debate whether it was a genuine mint mistake or a unique die pair, and in some cases a dramatic die clash or even a mule error where the obverse and reverse dies from different denominations were used together, resulting in a coin that should not even exist. And when you put together this level of rarity with the fact that collectors have been searching for a perfect specimen of the 2010 Liberty coin for years, it is no surprise that when one surfaced in pristine mint state with full luster, no post-mint damage, and certified by top grading agencies as a unique piece, the price skyrocketed at auction with frenzied bidding until it reached that jaw-dropping $97 million mark, setting records and becoming a legend in the coin community. But this also raises an important point for anyone watching this video, because you too might have a valuable coin sitting in a jar, a drawer, or a piggy bank without even realizing it. And that is why collectors always recommend inspecting every penny carefully, looking at the date, the mint mark, the lettering, and the overall strike to spot anything unusual, because it is the unusual that brings the value. Sometimes a small die crack running across Lincoln's portrait can turn an ordinary penny into something worth hundreds. A broad strike error where the collar die fails can create a coin that is slightly wider and flatter than normal, and that can also add significant premium. Or even a simple misaligned die where one side is slightly rotated compared to the other can catch the attention of error coin specialists. And the best part is that you do not have to be an expert to start. Just a magnifying glass and some patience can put you in the game. And imagine the thrill of finding a penny worth thousands or even millions in your spare change. It is like a modern treasure hunt that anyone can participate in. And the 2010 Liberty cent is a perfect example of how something so small can hold such immense value and historical significance, combining artistry, history, economics, and human error into a single metallic disc that has the power to change someone's life forever. And that is why the story of this coin is not just about money but about passion, dedication, and the relentless curiosity of people who refuse to overlook the ordinary, turning it into something extraordinary. And if you think about it, there is something poetic about the idea that a coin designed to represent a single cent of value can end up being a multi-million-dollar artifact, challenging our perceptions of worth and reminding us that rarity and uniqueness are what create demand, and demand is what drives price. And when it comes to this coin, the demand is through the roof, because there might only be one or two examples known to exist in this particular error combination, making it effectively a one-of-a-kind treasure, the holy grail of modern pennies. And numismatists from all over the globe have written about it, debated it, and chased it, further fueling its legendary status. And for investors, this type of coin is not just a collector's item but also a store of value, a hedge against inflation, and a piece of history that is likely to keep appreciating as time goes by, because once such a unique coin is locked away in a private collection, it might not be seen again for decades, making it even more desirable the next time it appears on the market. And this cycle of rarity and demand is what keeps the world of rare coins so exciting. So next time you get a handful of change, do not just toss it aside, take a moment to look closely, because that 2010 penny you hold could be hiding a secret that turns you into the next big story in the numismatic world. And imagine the headlines, the excitement, the interviews, all because you took the time to notice something different about an everyday object. And that is the beauty of this hobby. It turns everyday life into an adventure. And as we wrap up this deep dive, remember that knowledge is power. So the more you learn about errors, varieties, mint marks, and grading, the better your chances are of spotting the next great discovery. And who knows, maybe the next $97 million penny is still out there waiting for you to find it. So stay curious, keep hunting, and never underestimate the power of a single cent to change your life forever.